What's up everyone, thanks for tuning into my channel and this is Prashujya Biswas and today we will learn about the oil drop experiment by R.M. Millikan, who was an American scientist and discovered the charge on the electron. So let's move on with what he did in the simple experiment and what were the physical basics of it. But discussing about the physical basics, it is important that there are two main physical phenomena which we learn. The first physical phenomena which we have learned in the last science education video was the force of Newton's electric field. And the second physical phenomena which is new to us and a very interesting concept is the air resistance. Talking about the force of the electric field, it is very well known that the force on the electric object or force on any charged object is directly proportional to the charge applied, the charge on it and the electric field intensity on it. Therefore, from here we get that F is equal to E into E. Let's move on with the air resistance part of the physical basics. This air resistance force is given by a formula or is given by a law by an American scientist called Stokes and is called the Stokes law. It states that the frictional force on any spherical body is directly proportional to the velocity of the body. That is, F is directly proportional to V. So when the proportionality constant is taken away and the equality constant is put into the place, there gives a constant proportionality, and this constant proportionality is denoted by gamma and is called the coefficient of air resistance. So the net formula that we have for the force is gamma into V. Now let's move on with what happened in the experiment. In the experiment there was a chamber like this in which there was a coating outside it of brass and this chamber was made of metal. Now as you can see that at this position there is something like a compressor. This compressor was linked to an oil chamber in which there was oil kept in a very high compressed pressure. Now this was then taken in this direction from here to this thing here, which was called the atomizer. Now the work of the atomizer was to make the oil droplet very small in order of say 500 to 600 atoms or even less than that to around 10 to 20 atoms. This two plates were the cathode and anode or called the electrodes. This electrode was linked to this 10,000 volt battery supply so that a good electric field was set up between these two plates. There was also a telescope in order to look at these particles, and then there was X-rays which were thrown on these particles in order to get this particle charged. Now it is very important to understand how these particles got charged. X-rays are very high energy rays. When these rays were thrown upon the oil particles, the electrons get more energy and they shoot off out of the atom, thus making the oil particle positively charged. Using this property of X-rays, we have now made the oil particles charged, and using the property of the electric forces, we can now make the particles go up and down or make it stable at one point, and this concept was used by Millikan. So when this setup was used by Millikan, he used a fine spray of ionized oil droplets which were allowed to be acted on by gravity, but to which he also applied an electric field in the direction opposite to gravity, that was up. So here in this diagram, as we can see here, that we have an electric field in the upward direction, thus it is positively charged and the force vector will be parallel to the electric field vector, and thus which will give us E into E. Therefore we have Fe is equal to small e into capital E. Now similarly, the normal gravitational force that we have on the earth is F into G. Right. Now by tuning the electric field in such a manner, he balanced the forces due to the pull of gravity and the electric field force so that the drop remains suspended in space. Therefore this particle was suspended or stabilized in this field. Now if this particle has to be stabilized, then the particle has to have a positive charge and has to have a mass, and these two forces have to balance each other out. Therefore F of E should be equal to F of G, and thus we have from there the force balance condition becomes mg is equal to Q into E. Now let's rearrange the terms and let's define what we have. Therefore we now solve for the charge to mass ratio, and we have Q upon m is equal to G upon E. And we know that Q upon m is the charge to mass ratio which was found by J.J. Thomson. Now what he did was he switched off the electric field in order to find the mass. which use the concept of air resistance. In this case, there are still two forces acting on the drops even if the electric force is switched off. These two forces are the gravitational forces and the frictional forces or the air resistance forces. So we see that there is this oil drop, and this oil drop is falling in the downward direction with the velocity v vector. So the frictional force always acts in the opposite direction of the moving body, and thus Fr is in the opposite direction. But still the gravity or the gravitational force acts in the downward direction, and thus we have denoted like this. Therefore still there is a net force acting toward the downward direction, because we have assumed that the resistance force is not so much that would counteract the gravitational force. Therefore there is a F net acting in the downward direction. Therefore, when the drops are allowed to fall, the total force is not zero, or the total force is not only the gravitational force but is a bit less due to the friction that opposes the gravitational force. Now by Newton's second law, we have F net is equal to ma, and also F net we have is equal to mg minus gamma into v. Therefore from this we have this equation, this differential equation m dv by dt is equal to mg minus gamma v. When we solve the differential equation for v, we can get the time varying equation for velocity as mg by gamma into 1 minus e to the power minus gamma t by m. Now since gamma is very high, very large, and m is very small, therefore the exponent becomes very big, and e to the power minus something big approaches 0, and thus we have directly as v is equal to mg by gamma, which is a constant term. This constant term is called the terminal velocity. This is the terminal velocity when the particle moves from the cathode or moves from the cathode to the anode. Now this velocity is easily measurable using a telescope or the window that we have, or using a normal speedometer or different types of equipment. So using this we found out the velocity that we have, and thus we now know the value of g and gamma, because they are both are constants and gamma is constant for air. So now we have v is equal to mg by gamma, and now using this we can find the mass, and using the J.J. Thomson experiment, E by m ratio was found out to be 1.602 into 10 raised to power minus 31 coulomb per kg, and using this we can find the the charge on that particle. Now there was another thing that was proposed by R.A. Millikan using the experiment about the quantization of charge. He said that all objects have charges equal to the integral multiple of fundamental charge. But in order to prove this, when scientists thought about it later, they tried to prove it using the same experiment but got a technical problem. The technical problem was that they did not know that how many electrons were stripped off from each drop before the experiment was performed. Thus each drop will have a different charge Q, and that of the fundamental can be a multiple of fundamental charge E. Now it is very difficult us to find out the fundamental charge E using this experiment. Like say approximate results, we could do one thing. By subtracting successive values of Q obtained for different drops, it was possible for finding the smallest E. But it was still not sure that this was the smallest E that could ever happen. This E could also be a multiple of all the smallest factors. Thus the value of E which they got from this quantization of charges or this experiment, the oil drop experiment, it's still under consideration that it is right or not, because of the fact that because it may be a multiple of the smallest charges. But in later experiments, it was proved that this charge was equal to the fundamental charge E. Thanks for tuning into my channel and watching the science education video. Hope you like this video. Please punch the like button and subscribe me for more info. You can go to check out my other videos. Go to one corner of the check out the other videos that YouTube thinks is good for you, and check out the other corner for subscribing me. Also support me on Patreon so I can make more videos for you. Thank you so much.